Hello, everyone. If you are watching the replay, I am Corinne Crabtree, and I am number one. I am the host of the podcast Losing 100 Pounds with Corinne. I am also the owner and founder and the CEO of the No BS Weight Loss Program. And if you're here today, it is because you are a part of my very first Facebook business Q&A. So let me say, if you're probably coming here and you're very used to me doing only weight loss stuff. And what I want to tell you is that we are going to be hosting a weight loss Q&A on the third Tuesday of every month at 9 a.m. Central Time here on Facebook. So no worries. I am not going into business and dropping all the weight loss. It's just that we want to use this page, which is my normal weight loss page today, to be able to talk to all of the people who follow me, who also want to talk business, who want to ask questions about starting a life coach business, starting an online business. What does it take to be a female entrepreneur? What is it like to go from your couch to scaling a business that changes your entire generational chain? So that's kind of what I specialize in. And well, hello, Lisa. So because this is the first time that I've done this, we've been doing all of my Q&As on Clubhouse. We have now left Clubhouse and we are now going to be doing them on Facebook. I just happen to love Facebook. I think it's so much easier for me to use and for me to talk to you. So I want to start with kind of just going over how things are going to work. So what I want to do today is I just want to tell you kind of my story. So we'll start a little bit with my story. And then we will move into, if you have questions, you can populate some of them into the Q&A. And we're just going to see how it goes today, since this is the first run on Facebook. Now, I want to use this as a teaching opportunity. All right. I coach lots and lots of people in weight loss. And one of the things that I talk to weight loss people about all the time is you have got to be willing to try things. And you have to be more willing to try things than you are desperate to be perfect. Like, you've got to be desperate to figure out what's going to work and what's not. You need to be desperate to figure out your next best step. You've got to be desperate to try things. Like the energy, like if we talk about motivation, willingness, commitment, you need to be willing and committed and desperate and focused on all of that. What you don't need to be doing is sitting around all the time, waiting for someone to tell you what to do, sitting around all the time, being confused, sitting around all the time, waiting to have things perfect before you roll it out. So we had this idea that we wanted to start helping y'all more with business. For all of there's so many of you that follow me for weight loss. You know, if you think about it, women are just underserved in many ways. We are very underserved by the diet industry. We are also very underserved when it comes to just having successful women to look up to talk to be mentored by, and to have I think, a point of view and a voice that speaks to what women struggle with. So one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to get this out there. And I talked to, everybody, and I just said, I just want to start going live. Like, let's just get off Facebook. Let's start going live. Let's just do it. And so literally within a day, we had created an Instagram account and we created a Facebook page for No BS Business for Women. We did not spend hours and hours and hours designing logos and sitting around talking about color schemes. I was just like, keep it the same as the others. Who really gives a fuck? It'll probably change 20 times anyway. But what I know people need is they need a kick in the ass. They need some help. They want to be able to ask their questions. They want some support. What they don't want is me sitting around fucking with trying to make sure that everything's perfect. That's a no. That is the same thing as your client. Your person is just like my weight loss person. My weight loss person is sitting there saying, give me fucking help. Tell me how to do this. Create a space for me to be able to talk and share my stuff. What they're not doing is sitting around like, well, I sure as hell wouldn't want Corinne to have typos in a post. So she needs to spend lots and lots of time crafting her message, worrying about what other people are going to think, stewing over it, delaying it. No. So all we did is we just literally opened up those pages. And they were like, do you have content? I was like, no, I ain't got no content. You know what we're going to do? We're going to start creating content on the fly. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to solve problems as we go. Just like I did in weight loss. There is no difference between weight loss and building your business, y'all. None. You got to get up each day and you got to decide, today, how am I going to make my weight loss easy? And then you're going to ask yourself, today, how am I going to make executing my business easy? Like, what are the easy things I can get done today that will move the needle? So we're going to talk about some of that. Y'all can ask questions, all that kind of stuff. But let me give you a little bit of my background, because a lot of you are going to land on my business page and you're going to follow me, and you need a video that kind of is like, well, what the hell does this bitch even have to tell me? Number one, I cuss a lot. So let's just put it out there for everybody. If you don't like cussing, I am not your mentor. I am not your educator. I am not your guru. I also am not somebody who's going to change who she is to suit somebody else. I'm going to go and find, this is important in business. You cannot try to be something to everybody. You will wear yourself out, number one, if you're trying to judge everyone, or if you're trying to figure out how to be because everybody's judging you. And number two, you're never going to please them. And then you're going to water your message down to the point to where nobody fucking wants to listen to you because they don't get you. So decide to piss some people off. Like, that's number one in business. You just have to decide, I'm going to piss people off until I figure out the exact people who want to hear my message. That means I will not serve everybody. But the people I do, I'll go deep. The people I do, I will make a huge impact. So if you've landed here, and for all of you, my team is over in the chat. So team, if you will do me a favor, will you please post the links that they need to give them the Facebook business page? Because what will happen is that these calls on this page, they're going to be the second Tuesday of every month at 9 a.m. Central Time. They're going to move to the business page. So a lot of you are on my weight loss page. If you need to lose weight, guess what? Follow and like my page, and make sure you listen to my podcast, because it's my page. I can pitch myself all I want. That's number one. Number two, make sure you go over to the business page and that you like it, and that you also, there's something that you do in the Facebook where you tell it, I'd like to see your stuff. Like, put this lady in my newsfeed. I want you to make sure you do that. The third thing is, I want you to go, I have a page that we just threw up yesterday. That's super simple. That's not bourgeois, but it serves a purpose. It is where you're going to enter your name and you're going to enter your email. Let me tell you, guess what you're going to get? Nothing right now. You know why? Because it was more important to have a place to send you today than it was for me to be like, oh my God, team, we're going to have to wait like a whole month so I can write like all these emails and do all this stuff. No, get started. Just get started. I'm going to collect a lot of emails today because I decided to get started. Had I waited another month, I would have missed all these emails. So again, take action. My whole thing about business is about get into action. Do something other than worry, stew, sit around, and obsess. Those things you do not need to do. So my team has put those links. If you want to, like our opt-in right now to be able to like hear shit is no BS. Women, wait a minute. Hang on. It's going so fast. I can't read it. I'll tell you what, Sarah, go to Slack and type it in there. Go to the Corinne only channel. Actually, no, go to the leadership channel. Type it in there because I've got a message started in the other one and I can't like see. So type it into leadership and then I'll read it off. All right. So let's start with why you should listen to me. I think that's important. Also, Sarah, that's where you can put all of the questions inside the leadership channel. That will be helpful. Um, so let me give you a little background. So all of my life, I was very overweight from the time that I was 9 years old. Just had a huge weight problem. I always tell everybody the only time I was thin is when I came out the womb, and that's when everybody wanted the chubby baby. So, like I missed my window of opportunity. And then when I had my son, so cut to years and years of obesity, depression, attempted suicide at 17, eloped and was divorced by the time I was 21. I was on a freight train, like the express train to trying to derail your life. Like I was trying really hard. Dropped out of college. I had one whole semester of college, then never went back because I wanted to support said douchebag that I eloped with. So I had no skills to be a business person. None. The only skill that I've ever been able to really hang my hat onto is this one. I am willing to try anything over and over again without shame. I might feel bad something doesn't work out. I may gnash, grit my teeth, worry, and do all the things, but it never stops me from keeping on going. I don't use that bullshit as an excuse to not keep marching forward. Sometimes I march forward like in very uncomfortable shoes that no longer fit, that are leaving blisters. But I will tell you, I definitely always take action. So when my son was a year old, I was very miserable, very overweight, postpartum, knowing I was going back down a depressive, dark road. And I decided to lose weight. And over the course of about 18 months, I lost 100 pounds doing common, basic, like no bullshit stuff. And when I lost the weight, I knew that I had done it in a way that was very doable, very teachable, and that every woman deserved to know about it because I felt like I had finally solved my problem. I knew there were other people out there who needed to solve this problem that were just like me, that probably wanted something simpler. And I also knew that the way that I'd lost my weight, I had figured out how to do it by creating a better relationship with myself. As someone who had been depressed and sad and like just like talked terribly to herself all her life, it was the first time in my life where I was encouraging myself. I had learned how to push myself without beating myself up. I had learned how to have patience with myself and compassion instead of frustration, and then like a lot of willpowering. I had just learned so many important lessons. And I wanted to teach that. But I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I didn't have a business. Back then, we didn't have Facebook. We didn't have Google. We didn't have any of the luxuries that we do today to start a business. We literally, there is no one right now that has an excuse about starting a business. We are in the most fertile time we've ever been for women, entrepreneurs, to start a business from scratch. So I thought, well, the problem is I need to talk to people and I've got to find out where are they at. The only place I could find them was in a Weight Watchers forum. So I started answering questions in a Weight Watchers forum called Ask the Trainer. I had went and got a personal training certificate because I thought, well, this must be the only way that people can help people lose weight is in the gym. Well, fortunately for me actually, but I was so in my head about being an ex-fat girl that I didn't think anybody would ever want to listen to me. Who would want to be trained by someone who looked like me? I was thin, but I had tons of loose skin. I had no athletic background. Like, I just didn't think people would want to work with me. So I decided to go online. But that was the best gift I ever gave myself. I never stepped foot inside of a gym. I started just answering lots of questions in that Weight Watchers forum every single day. And the next problem arose. I was answering so many questions. People liked what I had to say that I couldn't even finish my thread every day. So I'd start a post, Lots of people would comment, and I would answer every one of them. Every one of them, because I felt like I owed it to every woman who still struggled with their weight to help them. So I solved the next problem, which is I've got to be able to do this faster. I'll start a blog. I did not know anything about tech. I did not know anything about the internet, but I did know how to go to Yahoo and search free blog. And I found one and I started one. And so every time I would answer somebody's question and it was a good answer, I would create a blog. And I would tell people, hey, make sure, like, go read this one, go read this, go read this, so I could do things faster. Then it dawned on me that people really did seek out my advice. My little email list was a growing. And I was like, I really should just put an email out to them and ask them, hey, does anybody want to work with me? So I got a PayPal link and I sent out an email to everybody and said, I am going to take clients and here's how it will work. I'll email you each week a plan, and then you and I will talk in email all week long, and I'll hold you accountable. That was my very first one-on-one coaching program, and that's all it took. And the very first person who replied back, her name happened to be Corinne, spelled just like mine. In all of the world, I couldn't believe it that somebody with my name replied back to me. She was the very first person to hire me for $20. I knew in that moment I was meant to do this. I knew in that moment that I was going to help women lose weight. I had no idea that I would grow that business over 15 years into an 8-figure business where I have helped over 500,000 women for free just in my free course. I have over 38 million downloads on my weight loss podcast that started with just a few listeners. I had no idea any of that was going to happen. But I did know what my purpose was. And I think for all of you, as you are starting your journey to start your business, I think one of the most powerful skills that I ever developed was, and I'll cry when I say it, I fell in love with my customer. Now, I'm not joking. You ask any no BS woman, I would bet you any of them will tell you that I love them. I think about them. I never stop studying for them. I don't have a day where I don't write about them in my journal, where I'm not thinking about how to help them. And that is all it takes. There's lots of things that are important in building your business, but I watch so many of you over index your own fears, your own doubts, and you make it all about you. And when I think about all the people that I work with in the business side, because I have an advanced certification where I offer a lot of business help. I coach in other business programs and, help them with the mindset stuff. So I get exposed to a lot of business mindsets all the time. And I'm always thinking, like, what is the difference between baby Corinne starting a business and my baby coaches that are trying to do this? And I didn't think about Corinne and her shame. I never sat around and thought about, like, what if this doesn't work? I'll feel so terrible. Or, what if they don't like this? That'll mean that I'm a failure. I did not do that. I just didn't. And it was because my brain was so focused on what my client was desperate for. Like, in my gut and my heart, I felt it. I spent a lot of time. I didn't have a digital iPad back then, but I spent a lot of time sitting around writing about their problems. Like, what is it that they're thinking and feeling? Like, how bad is it for them? That always kept it fresh for me, that my job was to show up each day and help them solve their problems. And so, like, any moment where you catch yourself sitting around and feeling sorry for yourself and worrying what other people are going to think, you have got to stop that shit. And I know a lot of you are coaches. Here's what I would do. I would not stop and do a model or a thought download on it at all. I would note that when I, tomorrow morning before I start my day, I want to get over my personal bullshit. But right now, I don't need to do anything other than to remember it's not about me. It is about them. And when you act from that place, I promise you, you will work smarter. You will work more intelligently. You will work like the longer hours, especially in the beginning, won't seem long because you're not beating yourself up, worrying and stewing through them. So many of you are dragging yourself along all day long. You could cut your work hours in half if you would just take action and see what happens versus sitting around and worrying about it and calling three of your coach besties to talk to them about it and stuff like that. Wasted time. Who gives a shit what they think? I don't even give a shit what you think. You shouldn't give a shit what you think when you're in insecurity land. You should shut it off. Remind yourself, I am here to change lives. So how am I going to do that right now? What am I going to do? And then when you want to start your day, clean out your damn brain. Remember what your insecurities are then. Work on it purposefully. But we don't stop taking action to help our clients because we feel bad. That is not a luxury I give myself. It is just like I tell my clients, you don't eat to feel better. Be a mother and be proud. And then if you want to journal about your insecurities, do it. But in the moments, don't go get a bag of chips because you're beating yourself up as a mother. Just stop it. We all know it's pointless. So that is kind of how my business started. What I have to offer all of you will always be, I will never bullshit you. I will always tell you the truth. I will say this. I don't know if all of my advice is ever going to be 100% accurate, but I'll definitely tell you what I think. I will help you figure out how you need to think in order to excel and perform at high volume. I'll always cuss. I can't promise I'll always have my short hair. Right now I'm rocking my long, but I will always be me. And I will teach you how to unapologetically be you, because we ain't got time to pretend if we want to help our clients get their goals. All right, so let me go over a couple other little things, and then I'm going to take some questions. And I've already got some. All right, so here's what's coming soon so that y'all know what to expect on this page. As of right now, I don't have any social posts written. I don't have any content for y'all. I don't have nothing other than I'm going to run my mouth once a month for sure. So you got that. There will be a business podcast coming out later this year. There are also some more exciting offerings that I'm working on that will come out later this year, but I'm not giving any dates. I'm not giving any commitments because we have lots of things we're working on in order to make it happen. And for now, we're just going to rock a lot of free content, and we're going to make it up as we go. And we're going to have a real good time doing it. And that'll be awesome. I will be sending out. So if you sign up for my opt-in, that means you give me your email and your name for all of you who don't know what that is. So if you want business motivation, things that have worked for me, maybe books that I'm reading and stuff, I will be sending out some periodic emails. What I do promise is to send you emails that you're going to want to read. I'm not going to send you bullshit. We ain't got time for that. If I'm ever going to offer something, if you're on my email list, you'll be the first one to know. I know a lot of you want to work with me. We're already getting messages like, are you opening up one-on-one coaching? I'm not opening up one-on-one coaching right now. But if you want to be coached by me, I suggest you get on your calendar the second Tuesday of every month, 9 a.m. Central Time. This is where you can get coached from me. You'll be able to ask some questions and make sure that you're on that email list, which is nobswomen.pages.entreport.net. Very sexy, right? But that's the first one we're going to do. So nobswomen.pages.entreport, ONTRAPORT.net. So there you can get on my list. I'll also be on Instagram, and my team is dropping in links over there. So follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. I will be writing some, like probably putting up some memes in the beginning, maybe just tell you what's going on in my mind. If you leave us questions in the comments, I may create some social posts around the questions that you're asking. That's for all of you. It's a really good tip on how to figure out how to create some social content is ask the people who are already following you, what do you want to know? And then you just type your answers and grab a selfie. Take a picture of your water. I don't care what you put up there. Take a picture of something. Even just talk it for 1 minute and post that little video. That's how you can get you some easy content. Carolyn on Clubhouse is just wrong. Don't worry about it. And then also, I wanted to, I've already talked about this. The best lesson that I have for all of you is do not wait for perfect. I wrote down that there are 3 steps to business. Number 1, take action. Like seriously. Like, yes, you can sit around and you can write down your steps and all that other stuff. But honestly, like just take some action. Most of the time, what I do is I make a short list. I have a question in my own, I developed my own productivity planner because I wanted something that like would work. And so this is a simple question that's in there. Whenever I have like a new goal for the week or a new goal for the month, I have one question that says, what are the first 2 to 3 steps that I can take that are easy and gets the ball rolling? Write those down. And then guess what? Take you some action. That's it. Next, solve problems that come up. So you take action, the problems come. Like not enough people are reading it, or my customers are having lots of questions. I didn't explain it clearly, whatever's going on there. Then solve the problems as they come up. Third, repeat. Like that's literally it. Figure out what you're going to do. Take the easiest steps first. As you take the steps, solve the problems. Then go back to step 1, which is take the next bunch of actions. If you just stayed in that mindset, you would get so much work done. You would get so much closer to your goals. Yes, we can sit around and talk about like ranking of goals, and we're going to do all of that. But if I could only teach y'all one thing today, it would be that. That is like watching business women sit around wringing their hands, as I tell my Nobius women all the time, looking for the fainting couch because they've like some in the Victorian times because something's happened and they need to like, and like take a break. It's a no. Like, just tell yourself, I'm more capable than I believe I am in this moment. I can do this. And then take action. All right. Can we just be best friends? Sure. I'm always open to the idea of friends. All right. If you have a question, will you please type it in now? And then that way I can answer a few. Number 1, how did you know weight loss was your area to give advice and not depression, divorce, and parenting? Because weight loss was for me, like it had been the battle of my life. And when I solved it, that's what I wanted to help people with. Like I just immediately knew it was the one thing that I felt like of all the things that I had solved, that I felt like I want to give that to other people. I mean, one thing that's nice is that I have options. Like right now, I'm moving into business next. I could have moved into depression. I could have moved into parenting autistic children. I could have moved into how to have a fantabulous marriage. I have a great marriage. Like my mama, between my mother and dad, they've been divorced 4 times. Like there is no reason why I should even really have a great marriage. My husband's parents both divorced and all the things. But I have a great marriage. There's lots of things I could have picked. I just picked the one that I just felt good about and made a decision. And that's the other thing. Y'all quit acting like there's a specific thing that you need to pick. That's the one that's right, and that's the moneymaker. The one that's right is the one you'll show up for every fucking day. The one that you'll obsessively read about, the one that you want to study, the one you want to you want to have that conversation over and over and over again. Trust me, I have talked about weight loss and answered the same fucking questions for 15 years now. Nobody asks me anything new ever. I don't think I've even been asked a new question probably since 2010, and it's 2021. So you got to be wanting to talk about it and never get bored of it. And that's the way that I think about it. Passion, passion, passion. Where am I going to experience passion? Because the more that you have passion around your topic, passion will carry you through when things don't work. Passion will carry you through your insecurities. Passion will carry you through your doubts. And passion will carry you through when things aren't going as fast as you want them to. So, just for context, I started my business in 2007. I spent more money on my business from 2007 all the way through 2000 and I think 2016 was the first year I even made money. Now, that is not for all of y'all to be like, whoa, this bitch don't know what she's talking about. I never was focused to make money. I didn't know that women could make money. The way that I was taught was, and God love my mother, she's probably here, but she probably said to me 1,000 times that I needed to find a good man who would take care of me because that's how you actually got money. Like, I just need to marry good. Find somebody who would love me and take care of me. Now, she didn't want me to just marry for money, but she didn't want me to just marry for love either. She knew how hard it was to struggle. She had me at 17. She had 2 babies by the time she was 19. No, like barely a high school education and working minimum wage my entire growing up. That's the last thing she wanted for me. So I didn't even know that I could make money. Like I didn't know that. And so for a long time, it was the passion. I showed up every day like I do today because I loved them. I wanted it for them. And then I ended up meeting someone who introduced the idea like, Corinne, you have so much to offer. I don't understand why you're not growing your business. I don't understand why, like you're not like why you're teaching 150 women. I don't understand why you're not teaching 150,000 women. There are so many women in this world who need your help. And you need to grow a business that can scale and help as many women as possible. Don't sit there and just play small with 150 because you're nervous, because you keep telling yourself you don't know how, because you keep saying you're uneducated. She really pointed out that I was my glass ceiling. That no one had ever even spoke to me like that. And that's when it all changed. And it was hard. I disappointed a lot of people to be able to affect over 500,000 women's lives today. I'm very grateful for that talk she gave me. I'm very grateful for that because starting in 2016, I started growing a profitable business. I started taking it serious. I started thinking about how I was going to break generational curses in my family. I'd already broke the generational curse of obesity. Never dawned on me that I would break the generational curse of poverty in my family. I have helped 20-something women go from jobs that they hate, were not paid well, thought that they could never do anything else, and now they work for me and they get paid amazingly and they get great time off and they get to do something that they dreamed about and that they are passionate about. And never thought that I would be hiring people who tell me, you were on my vision board. When you taught me how to lose weight, I knew I wanted to work in a place where I could make change in people's lives. That's what you guys get to do. You don't need a college education. You don't need all the courses. You don't need everything, but you do need passion. You need purpose, and you need to stay, like, keep your head out of your ass. That's about it. And those are some of the things that, like, I want to teach you because I think it's important. Um, I've had a membership site for a couple of years. Wait a minute. I've actually, let me go ahead and answer this one, but I now see that there's other ones. I've had a membership site for a couple of years and I'm struggling to grow it. How do you grow your membership to such a large group? Number one is we're very consistent on our social media. So that's one of the things that's very important is I watch a lot of people before you can afford to pay for advertising. So before I was paying for advertising, I was very consistent. I was as reliable as, you know, the sun coming up every morning. So if I was going to podcast, I never missed podcasts. I did a post every single day. When I was a blogger, I blogged every day for a long time. Then I switched it to every week, and I still have something on my blog go up every single week around my podcast. So consistency is king, number one, because your audience that's going to be finding you, number one, they need to know they can rely on you. That's the biggest thing, because if they can't rely on you on social, they for damn sure won't feel like they can rely on you inside of your membership. So that's number one. The next is paid advertising. Is like, are you going to invest and bet on you? Now, it does take a little bit to learn how to do some paid advertising, but it's learnable. Like the person who works with me, who's here, Sarah's like 30 years old. Sarah's just been studying it. Sarah runs our Facebook ads now. Like Sarah did not come to me with like extensive Facebook ads knowledge. She figured it out because it was important. So it's just, it's one of those things that's learnable. So get consistent on your social, because when you start running paid traffic to your stuff, you want to make sure that when they check you out, that you're reliable. They want to see a back catalog. They want to see what you're about. It's one of the things. It's like when I start going on social, I will commit to, like, let's say on Instagram, I only have like my starter post, right? Well, if I decide, all right, starting this week, I'm going to at least create one post a week. You will be able to count on me at least having one post a week. If I say I'm going to do it 3 times a week, guess what? You will see it will be 3 times a week. The thing about growing is you've got to figure out what your rhythm is for your content and stuff. You got to commit to that so that when you start paid traffic, you start driving people there, you have a solid system for them to check you out. That's why I like for y'all to start organically, getting consistent with your social media. Get your message dialed a little bit. Learn how to use your hashtags. Make sure that there's a body of content. Teach. Show up. Answer questions everywhere you can, because through that routine and practice, you will get better at knowing what to say when you're ready to write your ads. One of the things that sucks about ads is that if you haven't been very consistent on your social, if you haven't really been doing that stuff, then you don't know how to talk to your client. You're paying to learn your lessons on how to talk to your client. So much of it can be learned for free just by using your social media. Let's see. Let me go back up here. Sarah, do me a favor. Put a little thumbs up underneath each thing that I answer, so that I won't answer twice. What's some of the best marketing channels you use to grow your business free and otherwise? I've only used 2. Well, I would consider 3. All right. Facebook, number 1. My people are on Facebook. I like Facebook. I have tried other things, but Facebook is the bread and butter. We also run our ads on Facebook. I have a good social presence on Instagram. We do not run ads on Instagram, though. We've just never been able to unlock the code. We don't want to study it. We're just not going to. So Instagram is like what I find that the community on Instagram is, I like them. I like, like it's an easy way to check in and stuff. I get a lot of what I would just call, I read the comments on all my posts. I get a lot of information gathering on what somebody who is not a member, like the difference between someone who's just listening to the podcast thinks and what their problems are versus a member. I I can see that once you become a member inside of No BS, your ability to ask questions, the problems that you're solving are higher quality problems that will move your weight loss along faster. When I look at my free content, what I notice is that it's lower quality problems because we just can't teach everything that we want for free. So I do a lot of like, all right, if these are the things they're like struggling with, here's some of the messaging that I need to tell them. Like, these are the things that you will learn inside of No BS. It just kind of helps me tailor my marketing message. So I like to use Instagram for that. We tried Clubhouse. I just wasn't a huge fan. I liked it in the very beginning, but it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work to get people over there. We invested in a ton of equipment to try it out. I was willing to do it. It's one of those risks that we took. Like, let's spend a little money on buying equipment and doing all the things. It was fun, but we didn't see any traction. So if we don't see any traction, then we leave. Let's see. I have one client that I'm in love with, and she began as a friend and someone I helped in a 12-step program. How do I find more women like her? Well, one of the things that you can do is you could ask her, what kind of groups do you belong to? Think about her and what her problem is and what she's doing, and figure out like what kind of Facebook groups are they hanging out in? What kind of Instagram pages would they be following? Start following them, start joining those groups, start liking those business pages. One of the things that you can do that you have to think about is when you're smaller in your business, you have the opportunity to go and look and see what bigger names are doing, because their social presence, they're never going to read all 300 and something comments. They're never going to get to the bottom and stuff. They might read the first 20, but you can go in on these and you can offer value on those. So like, let's say you're on Instagram or you're in Facebook. If you're posting from your business account, and let's say that, let's take Lewis House as an example, big platform, tons and tons of followers, and right now he's kind of doing some relationships type stuff. And maybe you're somebody who wants to help people with relationships and dating. I think him and Jay Shetty are kind of doing something similar. When they post, you could go and you can start from the bottom, and you like the people that they're not like are asking questions that they're not helping because they don't help everybody on their page. You help them. You just start. It was no different than Weight Watchers wasn't helping anybody in their message boards back in the day. I was. So you do that. And that's how you can start opening up some dialogue. And then, the more people that see you, if you're reliable and they start seeing your questions, they're like, ooh, I really like how she says that. I really like what she's doing, blah, blah, blah. They'll probably follow you, which is a good thing. So that's one way. Best advice for growing, I've already talked about growing a membership. Pricing a higher price point up front for customer acquisition. I would need more detail on that, honestly. I will tell you, here's a really good, what is the name of the book, Sarah? $100 Million Offers or something like that, by Alex Hormozi. If you will follow him on Instagram, he's got a great Instagram channel. He's got a podcast that's really good. In fact, I was just listening to it today. Let me just tell you the name of the podcast. The Game by Alex Hormozi, Hormozi. I highly recommend listening to it. He's got a fabulous YouTube channel, tons and tons of free content. It talks a lot about customer acquisition, cost, pricing, all that kind of stuff. I'd probably go and I'd start listening to that. That is a great way to get some free content. And I would say it's highly valuable content. I forget the name of the book, but the book is amazing. I've read it once and I want to read it again and go through and do every exercise that he recommends. Let me just give you a secret. If I say a book is good, you should read it, number one. Number two, if I say a book is so good, I want to reread it and do the exercises, I would do it too. This is a super secret tip. Get your pens out. Be ready to light your notebooks on fire. If someone who is successful is saying what they're going to do, you do it too. I did a lot of that. I just listened to a lot of the people making way more money than me and doing it better than me. And I was like, well, if they're going to do it, I'll do it. I'll try that. I'll read that book. I'll answer those questions. I'll spend 20 minutes every day writing down my goals. If somebody says writing down their goals every day means that they got their goal, that was one of the key things. No skin off my nose, I'll do it too. I still write my goals down every single day. Every goal I write down, here is my goal and why do I want it so bad? And I write every day about them. Every day puts me in the right framework. And right now, if you $100 million offers is his book, and it's free on Kindle Unlimited right now. It's a good deal. Do you offer a life coaching certification? I do not. I recommend the Life Coach School. That's where I got certified, and I'm also a master coach there. If you go to thelifecoachschool.com, you can find out more information. I do an advanced certification for weight loss coaches who have come through the Life Coach School. So you might, like, if you are a weight loss coach and you've gone through the Life Coach School, if you opt in, my next class, we just graduated a class 2 weeks ago. 56 of y'all are probably right here right now. If you are a No BS Advanced Certificate graduate, please leave comments in there about, like, I mean, we do a lot. Not only do we make you a better weight loss coach because we teach you all the No BS concepts and stuff, but we level up your business game too. I am consistent and have growth and engagement on Instagram. I'm not getting consistent consults for my diabetes group. Any suggestions? Yeah, so this is really good. This is like how you have to break things down. So if you're getting engagement and your social is growing, you know your messaging is tight there. But if you're not getting consults, it means your messaging isn't tight on why they should get a consult with you. So this is where, like, just because you have engagement doesn't mean you've got the right engagement. So what this is telling you is that if you want to get consults, you have got to figure out, like, what are the missing links to getting them from engaging with my content to actually engaging with me in a consult, in scheduling. One, are you clear? Like, every post, do you talk about it? If you are talking about it in every post, check on Instagram, check on Facebook that all of your links actually work and that they are easy to find. Have your friends go to your page, tell them, like, I want you to sign up for a consult. Just say that and say, I just want you to visit my page. If they can't figure it out, then casual people scrolling the account, standing in line at Kroger, waiting to pay for their groceries while their kid is screaming for candy, for fuck sure ain't gonna figure it out. So have somebody that you know who will give you honest feedback. Have several of them. Just say, I want you to check me out on Instagram and sign up for my opt-in, but I'm not going to tell you anything about it. And if they can do it, then at least you know that's working effectively. The other thing is, are you talking about your, like, let me just tell you, like, a lot of my No BS women are here. No BS women. If you're just here because you love every fucking thing that comes out of my mouth, here's how you can help some of my business people who are sitting here. What the hell's a consult? Do you even want a consult? Who gives a shit about the word consult? No one. So watch how you're describing it. Like, get on a consult call with me. Nobody wants a consult call. You might as well be sending up a big ass flag that says sales call. Like, you, like, exactly. People are like, no. Like, you, like, if you want, like, when I talk about, like, I could say, sign up for my freebie. Sign up for my mini course. Nobody wants a freebie. Nobody wants a mini course. You know what people want? Give me your email address and I'm going to teach you in 3 steps how to start losing weight in a way that doesn't make you insane. I'm going to teach you in 3 easy steps how to start losing weight and still be able to go out to eat with your husband on the weekends. Like, talk about it in a way that somebody would be like, yeah, I want that. That sounds like me. So, but you got to test different things. So what I would do is, for 1 week, say it one way. The next week, say it another. Eventually what will happen, or even for 3 or 4 days, whatever, just say it in different ways do a week. let's just make up something. For 1 week, you're going to talk about your consults in every single post that you do, and you're going to do it in a way that's different than you're doing it now, but in the same kind of fashion. If nobody's biting, guess what? That didn't work. Next week, do it. If that didn't work, next week, do it. You keep mixing it up until people are. Make sure that in your, like inside of your, like when you DM or when you're like replying on Facebook Messenger and stuff, you talk about things. You don't use words like consult. That you talk about things that are going to make somebody feel like, I really should talk to her. She gets me. Like you need to sound excited. You need to be focused on them. Like I'm so excited that you reached out to me. On our call, tell me what you would love to solve so that I can prepare for it. And then when they tell you what you want, they want to, like, if I was starting all over, this is how Corinne would be doing it. I would treat every person in my DM as if they already were my client. And when they tell me something that they want to solve, I would be like, okay, I can't wait to talk to you. I would come back with some advice that they could start right now. Something easy and digestible. And then when I'm going to remind them the day before, I'm going to be like, hey, I've really been thinking about your problem. I don't know if you've ever listened to this podcast or if you've ever read this blog or whatever. Why don't you do that? Because I know you're probably desperate to solve it. I got lots of things I've been thinking about. I can't wait to talk to you. But I didn't want you sitting around thinking that you had to wait on me to start solving it. Like shit like that. And guys, I don't even do one-on-ones. But guess what? I'm just sitting around thinking about, like, if I wanted to grow my business, what is every avenue possible right now that I would be doing to get somebody. And here's the thing. I would be sitting there thinking, I want them to work with me. This is the way I think about every single person that is not in my membership right now. Every minute they're not inside my membership is one more minute they're not solving this problem. Yeah, I want to make money, and yeah, I want to grow my membership, and I want to be the next Oprah, and I want to do all that stuff. That's Corinne's like private, just what tickles her feathers. But at the end of the day, the way that I think about with my clients is that when I'm not going all in on letting them know that I have like done something unique in weight loss, like they suffer because of it and they don't even know it. And I think for me, that's what breaks my heart. And that's the way that I'm always trying to think about my client. I'm sitting there thinking, how many are sitting there each day not even knowing that they don't have to beat themselves up for their weight? How many of them are sitting there each day? Like, how many mothers are not working with me and spending birthday parties and holidays never being in photos? And one day that baby is going to wonder or wish they had more photos of their mama, but she was so ashamed of her body she wouldn't get in them. I don't want those things happening to those women anymore. And I know when they work with me, I change all of those things. We work on all of the problems. I owe it to them to let them know they need to buy my membership. I go to bed every night with a guilt-free conscience, knowing that I am helping women. And you have to decide that that is what you're doing too. You have to decide that, like, I got to help the people. And that's going to mean me testing 5,000 ways to talk about a consult call and how to get into their DMs and how to help them before they even pay me a dime and to get over my bullshit and to think about them relentlessly. Do you do anything to market your podcast, especially at the beginning? I did not in the beginning at all. The best marketing that I did was I talked about it on Facebook Lives when Facebook released Facebook Live. Oh my God, I'm dating myself. I think it was in 2017 or something like that. The day that they released it, the next morning, I went Facebook Live just to try it out. Nobody even knew what they were doing. I was probably one of the first 1,000 people that tried it. I was at a marketing conference where they were teaching you about social media, and Facebook announced while we were there, they changed the entire agenda for the 3 days. And when they announced it, they showed us where the buttons were. I was like, what? Like you can talk into your phone. I literally I was in San Francisco. I went down to the pier. I stood there and I was like, I don't know what this does, but we're going to try it out. Who's here? And I had about 20 people show up and I went Facebook Live. So in the beginning, it was just a lot of like, I just used a lot of the tools, but I put my podcast out there. I made sure that my social media got it every day. I did not have a big platform back in the day. I did not have hardly anybody following me. I had probably less than 1,000 Instagram followers back then. Like, I mean, just, I just didn't have a lot of following, but I was consistent. I talked about it all the time. One thing that all of you can do is there are lots of podcasters who would love to interview you. So many podcasts with even just smaller markets, but have a complementary market to you would love to have you because that's less content they're going to have to create. When you want to go on somebody's podcast, pitch them and say, I am so-and-so. I specialize in this. Here are 3 things I think your audience would love. And then give them a couple of sentences about it and let them like display that you have thought about their audience, that you know something about their platform. These are the things that you do in the beginning, especially. And we still do some of this. Like we're trying to pitch bigger podcasts, but you do it at a smaller scale. I mean, if you want to be, 8 figures or more like Corinne one day, that means you got to start like Corinne did back in the day. Which meant, like, I would ask people, can I be on your podcast? I would ask people, like, can I write a post for you? I would do those things because it was important. That is how I got my name out there. All right. We have been at an hour. I had told everybody, I was like, I don't even know if I have an hour's worth of stuff to talk about today, but it looks like we do. Here's what I want all of you to do. If you got value out of this, please tag someone that you know that also would get value out of this. So for all of you who are wondering, how do you grow a Facebook page? How do you do that? This is how you do it. You ask people to do what you need them to do in order to grow. So I want you to follow me on Instagram. And if you comment on a post when I write something, I always want you to think like, who can I tag that would get value out of this? If I don't have anybody to tag, can I use this on my own platform? Can I screenshot this, tag Corinne, talk about it on my platform, use her hashtags? Means because if Corinne's doing it, she's got lots of people who will follow her. That means more followers are going to see my stuff too. So anytime you want people to see your shit, when you share me on your stuff, you also get my people to start looking at you. And when I see you sharing me, then I'm wanting to share your stuff. I'm more likely to follow you back. That's kind of how it all works. It becomes a sharing circle, as they say. So then in these things, I want you tagging people. Share these lives on your own Facebook page if you can. Share, share, share. Ladies, this is how we all help each other and we grow. And as women, we start changing what women think is possible for them. All right. All of you, thank you for being here for the first one. First one, best one. I will talk to you in a month, first Tuesday, 9 a.m. Central Time. Bye, y'all.